One of the biggest challenges in Timor-Leste related to the condition of people with disabilities is the deeply rooted perception and stigma that people with disabilities need more pity and are often considered second-class citizens. Even though it is crucial for people with disabilities to have access, control, receive full benefits, and engage in meaningful participation so that they are more empowered. Yayasan Halibur Deficiência Matan Timor-Leste, abbreviated as Ahdmtl, an organization that assists and advocates for the rights of people with visual disabilities. Ahdmtl emphasizes that people with disabilities are also citizens. For this reason, the government and all policymakers must ensure that citizens' disability rights are fulfilled as citizens in general. Ahdmtl also encourages people with disabilities to be involved in any opportunity and not to be discriminated against or excluded because of their disabilities. Gender, inclusiveness, and intersectional perspectives form the foundation for cooperation and collaboration carried out through the seed funding mechanism under the Project of Civil Society and Governance in Timor-Leste, Csgtl, implemented by Yayasan Hivos with various partners, including Ahdmtl. Previously, mapping was carried out by Yayasan Hivos at Ahdmtl to understand the organizational needs left unanswered by past grant programs or in the absence of comprehensive government support. One fundamental finding in the mapping is that sometimes the assistance programs provided to organizations for people with disabilities have not been based on the baseline data of the beneficiary needs assessment. The assistance provided was not found in the risk mapping of the activities carried out, considering the conditions before, during, and after implementation. From the results of interviews, it is known that Ahdmtl has received printer and computer assistance grants. Still, there is no JAWS or NVDA software that will make it easier for people with visual disabilities to operate computers because they provide verbal instructions at each operational stage. As a result, the computer goods grant was not used optimally because there was no specific software for people with visual disabilities. Not to mention the limited ability of the fellow visual disabilities to use computers due to the lack of computer training education. This situation is also exacerbated by the lack of trainers and computer trainers for people with visual disabilities who understand conditions and concerns when providing explanations and training for people with visual disabilities. Executing the seed funding project for civil society and governance in Timor-Leste is also continuous and reinforces the activities already carried out by Ahdmtl. By accommodating people with visual disabilities to live in dormitories owned by Ahdmtl, it makes it easier for those whose homes are far away to learn the basic ABC Braille letters and improve other skills in classes organized by Ahdmtl. Learning the basic ABC Braille letters are the first step towards being able to read and write. This ability is essential so visual disabilities people can absorb more information and other knowledge. As a result, their self-confidence also increases drastically. Those who feel helpless feel they can't do anything when they can read and express their ideas and feelings in Braille letters. For people with visual disabilities, they are more open-minded, more confident, and want to be more advanced by accessing further capacity-building education, such as computer training. For this reason, Yayasan Hivos, with full support from the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs through the Norwegian Embassy in Jakarta, supports Ahdmtl in organizing computer training in December 2022. The computer training, facilitated by trainers from people with visual disabilities and using special software JAWS and NVDA, is an affirmative action that seeks to be responsive and transformative to change the situation because it does not only consider the specific needs of people with visual disabilities to access and engage in meaningful participation in capacity building and empowerment programs, at the same time, addressing the root causes of gender inequality, social exclusion, and discrimination that have been experienced by people with visual disabilities in Timor-Leste. The initial stage of computer training began with meetings and discussions of the organizational structure of Ahdmtl as well as computer training trainers and facilitators, who jointly reviewed the basic computer training module owned by Ahdmtl. Then modify it to the specific needs of people with visual disabilities using NVDA software and convert the basic module by retyping all the descriptions and instructions in Braille in the local Tetum language, making it easier for trainers, facilitators, and trainees to understand. The existence of a module is fundamental, not only as a curriculum containing material that will be delivered during training but also as guidelines and references for trainers and facilitators, as well as a source of knowledge and a step-by-step guide for computer operation that can be read and understood by participants with visual disabilities. Because it was the first time Ahdmtl organized it, this computer training was limited to 6 participants with low vision and total visual disabilities, ages 19 to 38, as a pilot project. The intensive 10-day computer training was dominated by 5 female participants, out of 6. This is an affirmation action for women with visual disabilities, who are among the most vulnerable and underserved members of society. 6 participants were very active and enthusiastic during the 10-day intensive computer training process because they were trying to operate a computer for the first time. All participants experienced significant changes as a result of the training. They can then confidently turn on and off their computers, type stories about their lives in Microsoft Word, and even write letters to Timor-Leste's president advocating for visual disability rights. Following the training, Ahdmtl released the modified and revised modules, as well as the publication of life stories and letters typed by training participants. The module's launch and training outcomes are significant as an advocacy effort for the rights of people with visual disabilities as well as a public awareness campaign to raise awareness that people with visual disabilities are Timorese citizens who face multi-layered discrimination. The launch, which took place in March 2023, was covered and published in local media.